What lengths would you go to for love? Would you break the law, risk your future, or even travel across states? These questions may seem extreme, but they paint a picture of a shocking story that unfolded not so long ago. In the quiet town of Dunellen, Florida, a 31-year-old man found himself tangled in a web of his own making. His crime? He was arrested for traveling all the way to Ohio to pick up an underage girl, a girl he had intentions of hiding until they could get married. But here's where the tale takes on a twist of the digital age. This was not a story of high school sweethearts or childhood friends. No, this was a love story born in the virtual world of World of Warcraft, an online game that connected these two individuals who resided hundreds of miles apart. Imagine that, a world of orcs, elves, and epic battles serving as the backdrop to this illicit love story. It's almost surreal, isn't it? This man, living in Florida, and this underage girl living in Ohio, found a connection, a spark in a place where reality is suspended and fantasy reigns. But this was not a game, and the consequences were all too real. The man knew the law, knew that what he was doing was illegal, yet he chose to ignore it, chose to risk it all for this relationship. And it wasn't just about the emotional connection. The messages between the two revealed plans to engage in sexual activity, a stark reminder of the gravity of the situation. The man and the girl exchanged affectionate messages, openly admitting to the illegal nature of their relationship. They were caught in a whirlwind of emotions, a whirlwind that ultimately led to the man's arrest. But how did law enforcement discover this illicit relationship? That's where our story takes an interesting turn. In the vast virtual world of World of Warcraft, players from around the globe interact, forming alliances, friendships, and sometimes more. In this case, more took the form of an illicit love story, woven in the threads of an online fantasy game. Our protagonist, a 31-year-old man from Dunellen, Florida, found more than just a gaming partner in his teenage counterpart. He found a romantic interest, a connection that would lead him down a path of questionable decisions and actions. Their bond grew, fostered by countless hours spent together in the digital landscape of World of Warcraft. Their characters stood side by side in battles against mythical creatures, their shared experiences fostering a connection that bled into the real world. The man, fully aware of the girl's underage status, began to entertain thoughts of a life together. His plans escalated, fueled by their shared affection and mutual confessions of love. He hatched a plan, one that involved a cross-country trip to Ohio where the girl resided. His intentions were clear, to whisk her away back to Florida, where they would hide until they were able to legally wed. He knew the implications of his actions. He was aware that what he was planning was illegal, that it would not only risk his freedom but also harm the girl he claimed to love. Yet, he proceeded, blinded by the affection he felt for her. The exchange of messages between them painted a picture of their relationship. Sweet nothings interspersed with acknowledgments of the dangerous game they were playing. Their words were laced with affection, but also with the grim reality of their situation. Despite the illegality of their relationship, they exchanged affectionate messages, fully aware of the potential consequences. When the teen girl went missing, the FBI was brought into the case and they found a trail leading straight to Florida. The trail wasn't physical, but rather a digital one, as intriguing as any detective story. It all started with a virtual world with mythical creatures and epic battles, a place where millions lose themselves, a place known as World of Warcraft. In this game, the missing teen had an account. The FBI, with their relentless pursuit for justice, traced the activity of this account. They found a connection, a link that pointed towards a man in Florida. It was a lead, a clue in the vast digital landscape. When they approached him, this man from Dunellen, he initially denied any knowledge of the missing teen. He was just a player in a game, he said, fighting monsters and leveling up. Yet, the investigators dug deeper. As they peeled back the layers of deception, a different story began to emerge. The man, it turned out, knew more than he was willing to admit. The World of Warcraft wasn't just a game for him, it was a meeting place. There, amidst the battling avatars and magical realms, he had met the teen. He admitted to being in a romantic relationship with her, a relationship that transcended the game's boundaries. The digital trail led the investigators to a series of messages exchanged between the man and the teen, messages that revealed not just affection, but a plan to meet, to hide, to engage in activities that the man knew were illegal. Each message was a breadcrumb in the digital landscape, each breadcrumb a step closer to the truth. It was these digital breadcrumbs that led the FBI straight to their doorstep. A doorstep in sunny Florida where a man was arrested and a missing teen was found, all thanks to a trail of clues in a world of Warcraft. With the evidence piling up, the man was arrested and charged with a slew of crimes. In the wake of the disturbing discovery, the long arm of the law finally caught up with the man from Dunellen, Florida. His arrest was swift, and the charges laid against him were grave. He was accused of traveling to meet a minor for sexual activity, a crime that carries significant implications. The man's audacious journey from Florida to Ohio and back under the guise of a romantic escapade was a clear violation of the law, but the charges didn't stop there. He was also accused of interfering with child custody. His actions were not only illicit but also disrupted the peace and sanctity of a family. The man's decision to whisk away the underage girl, with the intention of hiding her until they could wed, was a flagrant disregard for the child's welfare and the rights of her guardians. The third charge was sheltering an unmarried minor. The man's home in Dunellen had become a haven for his unlawful intentions. His plan to hide the girl there until they could marry was a blatant violation of her rights and a stark example of exploitation. The gravity of the charges was met with an equally firm response from the judicial system. The man was held without bond, a decision that underscores the seriousness of his crimes. His actions had not only endangered a minor, but also sent ripples of shock through the community. The man's arrest and the subsequent charges serve as a chilling reminder of the potential dangers lurking within the seemingly innocuous digital world. As we delve further into the intricacies of this case, one thing becomes clear. Behind the screens and avatars, there lies a very real world with very real consequences. The man's arrest and subsequent charges are a stark reminder of this reality. This shocking story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers hidden within the digital world. In the end, a tale of illicit love, law-breaking, and a game turned into a nightmare unfolds. This isn't just a story about a man from Dunellen, Florida, who let his desires overrule his judgment. It's not merely about a teenage girl who found herself drawn into a relationship she was too young to handle. It's a story that highlights the potential dangers lurking in the corners of our digital world. In this tale, an online game, World of Warcraft, became a platform for an unlawful relationship. A place designed for fun and fantasy became the stage for a real-life drama, where the boundaries of age and legality were crossed. But it's also a story about the power of technology, and how it can be used to protect as well as harm. The FBI, tracing the girl's game account, was able to locate her and the man, leading to his arrest. The digital footprints we leave behind can lead to our doorsteps, for good or ill. Yet the most pressing takeaway from this story is the importance of online safety. The internet, with its myriad of platforms, can be a double-edged sword. It opens up a world of opportunities, but it can also expose us to risks. This story serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers of forming relationships with strangers online. It underscores the need for constant vigilance, especially when it comes to the safety and well-being of our younger generation. It's crucial to remember that not every stranger we meet online has good intentions. Not every story of love ends in a fairy tale. Instead, it could lead to a world of trouble, shattering lives and causing irreparable damage. So let this story serve as a wake-up call. Let it remind us all to be careful, to be vigilant, and to ensure that our online interactions are safe and protected. Remember, not every story of love ends with a happily ever after. Sometimes it ends with a knock on the door from the FBI.